Continuing the Viking Portable Library World Bible, edited by Robert O. Ballou, with the Confucianist. Those on the right-hand path can ask those on the left-hand path a question. Confucian scriptures from the Doctrine of the Steadfast mean Chung, Chung, perhaps. The middle way. My master, the philosopher Chung, says, being without inclination to either side is called Chung. Admitting no change is called Yung. By Chung is denoted the correct course to be pursued by all under heaven. By Yung is denoted the fixed principle regulating all under heaven. This work contains the law of the mind, which was handed down from one to another in the Confucian school till Tze committed it to writing and delivered it to Mencius. What heaven is conferred is called the nature. In accordance with this nature is called the path of duty. The regulation of this path is called instruction. The path may not be left for an instant. If it could be left, it would not be the path. Now, Therianthropos, the 666 man, the path is nature. Not to take off your natural man, the path is nature. And while I'm 36, I'm going to try to finish up on what I have to say about the 666 issue, other than that I've, over the past several years, have seen a lot more coincidences involving it, whether it be on IDs or whatever, or at least since I was 18. Yeah, since I was 18. Anyways. There is nothing more visible than what is secret, and nothing more manifest than what is minute. Therefore, the superior man is watchful over himself when he is alone. That's the problem of society. We think we can get away with things, and we do things, rather than it doesn't matter whether people know about it or not. We're going to be on the right path. While there are no stirrings of pleasure, anger, sorrow, or joy, the mind may be said to be in the state of equilibrium. When those feelings have been stirred, and they act in their due degree, there ensues what may be called the state of harmony. This equilibrium is the great root from which grow all the human actings in the world. And this harmony is the universal path, which they all should pursue. Let the states of equilibrium and harmony exist in perfection, and a happy order will prevail throughout heaven and earth, and all things will be nourished and flourish. The Master said, perfect is the virtue, which is according to the mean. Rare have they long been among the people who could practice it. I know how it is that the path of the mean is not walked in. The knowing go beyond it, and the stupid do not come up to it. I know how it is that the path of the mean is not understood. The men of talents and virtue go beyond it, and the worthless do not come up to it. Now the Hindi, while the Sanskrit and on the other side Arabic-based root, Shariat, the it's the middle way, the middle ordinance, and those who don't understand it are going to either assume that it has problems, or going to falsely attribute to extremes to this mean. The superior man cultivates a friendly harmony without being weak. How firm is he in his energy! He stands erect in the middle, without inclining to either side. How firm is he in his energy! When good principles prevail in the government of his country, he does not change from what he was in retirement? How firm is he in his energy? When bad principles prevail in the country, he maintains his course to death without changing. How firm is he in his energy? The master said, the path is not far from man. When men try to pursue a course which is far from the common indications of consciousness, this course cannot be considered the path. When one cultivates to the utmost principle of his nature and exercises them on the principle of reciprocity, he is not far from the path. What you do not like when done to yourself, do not do to others. In the way of the superior man, there are 4 things, to not one of which have I as yet attained: to serve my father, as I would require my son to serve me. To this I have not attained: to serve my prince, as I would require my minister to serve me. To this I have not attained: to serve my elder brother, as I would require my younger brother to serve me. To this I have not attained: to set the example in behaving to a friend, as I would require him to behave to me. To this I have not attained. The superior man does what is proper to the station in which he is. He does not desire to go beyond this. And so, before I was on the path that I was on now, I started a little movement. It was about personal superiority. It wasn't per se an arrogance or anything, and it definitely wasn't some blood and soil sort of thing that's dominating the current social, political, right-wing side. So it was misunderstood by others, and I got in trouble at times for it. In a position of wealth and honor, he does what is proper to a position of wealth and honor. In a poor and low position, he does what is proper to a poor and low position. Situated among barbarous tribes, he does what is proper to a situation among barbarous tribes. In a position of sorrow and difficulty, he does what is proper to a position of sorrow and difficulty. The superior man can find himself in no situation in which he is not himself. In a high situation, he does not treat with contempt his inferiors. In a low situation, he does not court the favor of his superiors. He rectifies himself and seeks for nothing from others, so that he has no dissatisfactions. He does not murmur against heaven, nor grumble against men. Thus it is that the superior man is quiet and calm, waiting for the appointments of heaven, while the inferior man walks in dangerous paths, looking for lucky occurrences. The Duke how's that pronounced? Asked about government. The master said, "Let there be the man, and the government will flourish. But without the man, their government decays and ceases." Now, I sometimes repeat things because in the future, somebody, me or whatever, could go back and edit these, so. But you're watching these for free, so don't worry too much, but, there's problems. The master said, "Let there be the man, and the government will flourish. But without the man, their government decays and ceases. With the right man, the growth of the government is rapid, just as vegetation is rapid in the earth. And moreover, their government might be called an easily growing rush. Therefore, the administration of the government lies in getting proper men. Benevolence is the characteristic element of humanity, and the great exercise of it is in loving relatives. Righteousness is in accordance of actions with what is right, and the great exercise of it is in honoring the worthy. The increasing measures of the love due to relatives and the steps in honor due to the worthy are produced by the principle of propriety. The master said to be fond of learning is to be near to knowledge. The practice with vigor is to be near to magnanimity. To possess the feeling of shame is to be near to energy. He who knows these three things knows how to cultivate his own character. Knowing how to cultivate his own character, he knows how to govern other men. Knowing how to govern other men, he knows how to govern the kingdom, with all its states and families. In all things, success depends on previous preparation, and without such preparation, there is sure to be failure. If what is to be spoken be previously determined, there will be no stumbling. If affairs be previously determined, there will be no difficulty with them. If one's actions have not been previously determined, there will be no sorrow in connection with them. If principles of conduct have been previously determined, the practice of them will be inexhaustible. Sincerity is the way of heaven. The attainment of sincerity is the way of men. He who possesses sincerity is he who, without an effort, hits what is right, and apprehends without the exercise of thought. He is the sage who naturally and easily embodies the right way. He who attains to sincerity is he who chooses what is good, and firmly holds to it fast. To this attainment there are requisite the extensive study of what is good, accurate inquiry about it, careful reflection on it, and the clear discrimination of it, and the earnest practice of it. And there is a class of beings that are completely on this way of heaven, and they don't have a choice. The human being has a choice whether or not they want to be on the way of heaven. And of course, there's the completely the reference of heaven, as being a metaphysical place, that behind heaven being referred to when we talk about this. The heaven now before us is only this bright shining spot, but when viewed in its inexhaustible extent, the sun, moon, stars, and constellations of the zodiac are suspended in it, and all things are overspread by it. The earth before us is but a handful of soil, but when regarded in its breadth and thickness, it sustains mountains like the Hua and the Yo, without feeling their weight, and contains the rivers and seas without their leaking away. The mountains now before us appears only a stone, but when contemplated in all the vastness of its size, we see how the grass and trees are produced on it, and the birds and beasts dwell on it, and the precious things which men treasure up are found on it. The water now before us appears but a ladeful, yet extending our view to the unfathomable depths. The largest tortoises, iguanodons, dragons, fishes, and turtles are produced in them. The articles of value and sources of wealth abound in them. All things are nursed together without their injuring one another. The courses of the seasons and of the sun and moon are pursued without any collision among them. The smaller energies are like river currents. The greater energies are seen in mighty transformations, in this which makes heaven and earth so great. And without humans, these things would remain in balance. Nature would change itself how it needs to be changed. Only humanity, in its choices, stands in the way of the world keeping this balance. But you think the world can't outlive humanity?